so that's what it means.
All right.
We're going to go ahead and start. Okay. All right, well, this is our third class. And one of the things I said to everyone in the room is I wanted you all to be doing astrological work after this 5-week session. Very few people can learn in 5 weeks enough to do that, but you will if you'll study. If there's always an if, if you study. If you're really serious about this, the reason I can teach it in 5 weeks is because I'll teach you the language and let it speak so that when you look in a chart, you'll know. Used to be, years ago when I taught astrology, I had to teach chart construction as well. And when I first started teaching, 40 years ago, maybe, I had to teach how to use logarithms and mathematical computations, had to teach them how to use sidereal time, local mean time, how to find the differences where they lived, It was a lot of mathematics. You're fortunate today. All you need is a computer or an iPhone or an iPad, and you can find out everything you need to know about a chart just by putting the birth information, the time and the place of birth into that device. Not only does it do a chart for you, but it tells you every aspect of every planet. That's why I can have you doing interpretations from the beginning almost from 5 weeks. There's very few classes you could take in astrology could do that for you. But if you'll get serious about this, as you are, I'm sure, but stay serious about it, and start working with the tools that are available to you, and then learn the language that I'm teaching you. You notice I spend a lot of time on aspects here between the planets, trines, squares, oppositions. Your workbook has explanations of the aspects very well defined for you, even with visuals, so you can see what 30 degrees is if you look at your workbook. I hope you're using your workbook. I put a lot of time and effort into making that for you. And it has actually a visual. For example, 90 degrees is a square. 180 is an opposition. Planets totally opposite to each other. And when I put this together, I wanted you to be able to start to understand that. One of the things that you need to recognize is that a square is not, even though 3 houses is a square of 90 degrees, when you put your signs on the cusp of a chart, or they align themselves, and you put the signs outside that chart in those houses, those signs may not be 90 degrees between 3 houses. You could have, if you're born at a high latitude, like Elena's born in Russia, you're going to have what we call intercepted houses, signs rather, where you'll have actually, you could have as much as 60 degrees in one house, even though that division of that circle is 30 degrees by house. The signs could compress into that house and make 60 degrees. You could have that, or 40 degrees. So what I'm saying to you is, as we start to look at these aspects, right now I want you to concentrate on aspects between the signs, planets in the signs, so you understand that. You need to study your workbook during the week. I've given you a lot of information, and I'm not one to say you must do this week and next. I want you to just be motivated, self-motivated enough to use what I've given you and look through these tools, read them, study them, okay? And then during class, if you have questions, then of course we can cover that. We can go into it. The reason I spend a lot of time is on the aspects, the planets in the signs and the sun in the sign. For example, you all know what sun sign you are, Taurus, whatever, Gemini, whatever. You know what sign you are. You know that means your sun's in that sign. But every planet's in your chart's in some sign. Saturn's somewhere, Venus is somewhere. And, when you start to think about it and you start to realize that all the fire signs are going to be trying to each other, all the earth, the elemental signs, the elements, fire, earth, air, and water. There's only 3 of those signs in each element. For example, fire sign is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Those are always going to be generally in trine to each other, those signs are. Now the planets, if they're within orb, in other words, they're close to the same degree from those signs, it's going to make a perfect trine. 120 degrees, or maybe 126, or maybe 118. In other words, but it's within orbs, so it makes it trine to each other. So if you have 3 planets in a trine, we call that a grand trine. Okay? In other words, if we have 3 planets, let's say we got the Sun here, and we got Jupiter here, and we got Saturn here. That's called a grand trine. Let's say they're in fire signs, Leo. Let's see, actually Aries, Leo, and then the Sagittarius up here. Okay, so if we had a fire trine, whenever you look at a chart and you say, oh, I see planets in mostly fire signs. If you have mostly planets in fire signs, it gives a particular temperament to that person. Your temperament is maybe fiery, like, the fire signs. If it's Earth, mostly Earth, planets mostly in Earth signs, remember, there's only 3 Earth signs. I'm Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if those planets, in this case, were sitting in those signs, it'd be an Earth trine. And if it was 3 planets making those aspects, it'd be called a grand trine in Earth signs, okay? If it's Earth, we say they're more practical. Okay, people that have a lot of Earth tend to be more practical. People that have a lot of fire, very enthusiastic. People that have all air, which would be the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. If you have mostly planets in those signs. So when you're doing a person's chart, you're looking at a chart, you're going to look at the predominance of the air, fire, earth, or water. If they're mostly, if they're air, it's mostly intellectual, communicative. They're very social usually, very social, highly social. And if you look at the water signs, they're mostly emotional. They lead by their emotions. They're guided a lot by emotions. And the water signs are what?
Pisces.
Pisces, good. What else? Scorpio, and what else? Cancer, good. So those are 3. So if you're looking at a chart, you see most planets are in those signs, you're probably going to have some trines in there too, because they're all in water signs. Or if they're all in fire, you're going to see a lot of planets probably making trine aspects, okay? Now, when you're doing a chart, once you find out what the aspects are of the planets, you're going to want to know what signs are they in and what part of the body does it affect. For example, if somebody has Mars afflicted in Aries, you're likely going to see head injuries or scars and wounds on the head, especially if it's afflicted. Okay? I mean, I remember, I can tell you, I've seen things. It's funny how a chart speaks to you as you start doing this. I remember doing a chart for a lady, and I think I've shared this with you, maybe but she was sitting there, and she had Mars and Cancer in the 5th house, in the 12th house, rather, afflicted, very heavy. And I said, you must have a birthmark or something on your breast. And I said, you were stabbed in a past life, in the chest. And you still should have a birthmark from this life, from that stab wound. And she was freaked out. She says, my God, Ron, yes I do, And she said, it's absolutely true. She says, more importantly, she says, all my life I've had a fear of knives. If I walk into the kitchen, she said, and I see a knife laying on the counter, it freaks me out. I have to put it away. So you can see where that came from, past life experience. So she had that scar. I said, can I see it? She wouldn't let me. Anyway, a little humor here. See, anyway, the point I'm getting at is that this chart speaks to you. It starts to talk to you. 12th house to me is past life. It's things that have happened in the past. It's the house of Pisces, the psychic, the belief house, and all that. But it's also the past. As Aries, the I am house, the 1st house, is who you are right now. It's right here, right in the present time. So I remember doing a chart for. What was it? You're in Holland. What was that? You can share that a little bit.
My cousin.
Huh?
My cousin's son.
Yeah. And we were. How old was he then?
About 8.
But it's about our son's age at the time. Andre. We were visiting him in Holland, and he's a professor, and his wife is both professors. They're very well educated, of course. And very skeptic, I'm sure, of stuff like astrology. The more educated they are, the more they tend to be. And I don't criticize that. That's okay. I mean, I lived in Boston. Everybody's got PhDs. astrology wasn't as popular there and as strong as it might have been in California, for example.
Sure.
There's more skepticism, I think, and disbelief. But anyway, so we're sitting at the table and I did the chart of the child, and I said, you know, he should have had a huge, some kind of big birthmark on his back. And they freaked out because they had to have it surgically removed. It was so bad. But I mean, I could have never known that by being around them. I never knew anything about this experience in their life. But when he was a young child, they had to remove it. It was so bad. So the point is that you can see Mars does what? Mars, okay? I was doing a party the other day, and I had 10 people there that were, I was giving readings on, and one of the gals was sitting there, and she's from South America somewhere, I forgot. But anyway, as I did a chart, I said, you know, you should have scars or wounds on your hands. Because she had Mars in Gemini, heavily afflicted. Gemini rules what? The arms and the hands. But I just knew why I specifically said hands, but sometimes I just know, you know. I think there's a little part that goes beyond the interpretation. I could have said arms and hands, but I just said hands. And she said, my God, Ron, she said, you know, when I was young, she says, I was stabbed in the hand, and it took me years of recuperation to get over it, where I could even use my hand. And she said, nobody can tell now, but she said, you know, it was, for years I suffered from that. It cut the tendons and caused a lot of damage, but you couldn't see the scar, you know what I mean? Today they do wonders. But the point being that that's in the chart, you know, it's there, it's so clear to me. And I want that to happen, but it's going to only happen as you start doing charts, you start working with them. Why am I spending so much time on this doing charts? Because I'm going to show you a way to get around this. So whether you use your computer, you can go online and look for free horoscopes. You can churn out charts all day free online. They're going to try to sell you something maybe, but the bottom line is
But the interpretations are not that great.
No, they're not. No,
Not the
exactly.
same thing.
Exactly. Even the stuff I give you. I mean, I like this program that I recommend for you. Even the one that's on the iPhones and iPads, Time Passages, as it's called.
Yeah.
You can use it on your computer. I recommend it. It's easy to use. It's quick. You can get progressions and transits formed instantly, you know, and interpretations of those. The reason they're good is because even though it may not be like a good reading, it gives you a good sense of what the aspect means and the meanings, how it's going to be generated in your life. And you can get a good sense from it, and then start becoming your own astrologer and giving your own meaning to all this. But let me show you something real quick. I just want to show you how, this is exciting, I can do this now, HDMI. So what this will do, will make my iPad work on there.
So Ron, when you do a printout of interpretation, is it time passage that you're using?
Yes.
Is it your own?
Yeah, it is. Okay. So this is my iPad. Now, if you look, you'll see time passages, right? Okay, right there, see it? Time passages. Can you all read that? Is there too much light coming behind us, do you think? Is it okay? So you just go, you click on time passages. There it is. Okay, and this is going to look the same on your iPhone or on your iPad. They're the same. And you can make it, like on an iPhone, it might be small like this. For iPad, like that, 2 times. Okay, so you can store all your friends and all your people you do charts on here too. It's always in there for you. But let's go back to, or let's just pick we should start from the beginning. We're going to add a chart. So look how quick this is. Let's take Sai Baba's information here and just do a chart real quick. And let me show you. Okay, oh, actually it's supposed to go to the next line. Last name, Baba.
You misspelled his name.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Thank you. Just say Okay. Okay. Huh?
Satyasai Baba and Satyasai Baba. So we need Satyasai Baba.
Do it in the one.
It's going
That's just fine.
away.
Okay. Go ahead and do the rest of it. Put down.
You gotta go back, it's all wrong.
Okay.
The
Ah.
Let him out. Let him out. You walking me?
It's why, isn't it?
Why?
Good boy. Lots.
Okay. All right, your
You
turn.
go ahead and do the rest of it.
Your turn?
Huh? Down up top. Here. Now, I just want you to see how simple this is, okay? She's never used this before, but birthplace is, okay, and now it's got all this in here. All you do is look up the place. The birthplace is
Puttaparthi.
Puttaparthi, India. Okay, so we first find India. There it is. You all with me there? Can you see this okay? And then we go to Puttaparthi. No P. It's got all your ephemeris in, I mean, all your,
You can put it Bangalore, it's the same time zone, yeah, it's a Puttaparthi is not there, right?
a lot of P's,
I don't
isn't
know
there?
if there is any difference
Can you
really.
believe that?
It's PH, only PH.
It's P,
Putta-
PU,
PU.
Puttaparthi, it's not PHU?
No.
Puttaparthi, no?
no.
It's actually not.
P-U-T-T. Why don't you just type in P-U-T-T until you,
Because that would have been easy. Sorry. Yeah, I'm almost there. I got an RST.
right there.
There you go.
Good. So you push that, okay? So now it figures out your longitude, latitude for you. See, it's all there? Okay?
You
So,
put the time
huh? We got to go back to
Oh,
get that.
yeah.
So we do done on this.
for the date.
You must enter a name.
Right.
I thought we did
You
that.
have done
Because you
after
didn't
the
do
name.
it first thing, I guess.
Okay.
Your head is blocking the screen.
Hit done for the name, it wasn't hit.
Let's try it again. Let's just do done. Okay, now we're there. Now, we've got everything, but we still have to put the birthplace we've got. See that where it says birth date? Everybody with me? Right there? So he's born November 23rd, 1926. Look how easy this is. November 23rd, and then 1926. That's going to be back a ways. There we are. So we put that in there. It's just simple enough. I mean, how much work is there to do a chart? I mean, and you guys have it made today. You know, you really do. So, okay, and then,
I can see everything. You're not looking.
done?
I can see everything.
Good.
No, you're not
It didn't give me, I didn't do the time, did I?
No.
Okay, the time he's born is 6:22 a.m. Okay. 6:22 a.m. There you go. Everybody with me? I do it right? Okay. We're done. We get done. And now you can even make a category for him. In this case, we can put friend, family, client, celebrity. We'll make him a celebrity. And then we're done.
I want to make him a friend.
Okay, actually very good. Now, we've got the charts done. We come over here. You see this Sai Baba at the top, the size chart? Get that? There's this chart.
There you go.
Now, let me show you. I've been teaching you how to read planetary aspects, right? So what we want to do is we want to look at the aspects now, and you can do this right now with a client. You can sit down with any of your friends right now, put their information in there, and I can guarantee you, if you paid attention in this class and you keep paying attention, you can do right now, you can start reading their charts, and you'll blow them away. I'll show you why. Watch this. You put aspects. Touch on aspects. Everything's written down there for you. It's telling you exactly what's going on in a chart. And that's not all. You just go up and down. Look at all these aspects. Look at this. Now, I don't use Chiron, but if you choose to, that's your choice. I'm not into Chiron, but a lot of people are. I don't use, if you're going to use Chiron, then you might as well use all of them. Phoebus, and my God, you'll have 100 asteroids. Why do you pick one Chiron and say it's the most important one and it's the only one? I don't know. I've been around this for a lot of years now. You can put midpoints in there. You can put powers of fortune, but what about powers of fate, powers of death, powers of marriage, powers of this? There's all these things. You see what I'm getting? Don't get caught up in those things. I'm guaranteeing, I've been doing this for 50 years, they are not as significant. You may make them significant by using them, and maybe you like it, and I'm not going to tell you, I don't tell people what to do in astrology. I don't say you should or shouldn't.
And the nodes.
Nodes, you know, same thing. You know, you've got enough. If you just do planetary aspects, look what we got right here. My God, you just start doing this, you're going to be overwhelmed. So, you know, you look at this and, man, you say, wow, he's got Sun conjunct ascendant, Sun square midheaven. Well, obviously, it's likely if the Sun is conjunct the ascendant, it means he's born in the morning, doesn't it? Does that make sense? Why do you know that? Because it's the eastern angle, the rising sign is where the Sun rises.
The west.
That's why we call it the rising sign, or ascendant. The Sun is ascending. The planets ascend on the left side of the chart. So if you do a chart and you make a 12-hour mistake, what if I had, instead of put 6 in the morning, I'd put 6 p.m.? Then I would look at that chart instantly, I'd know I made a mistake, because the Sun would have been on the 7th house, the opposite side, setting in the west. You see? Do you understand me? Is this clear? Don't be afraid to say it if it isn't.
Because in astrology, west is east and east is west, right?
Yep.
The opposite.
Yeah. Let me show it. Let me give a visual of this. Okay. There's a cute store right over here at the Cove Shopping Center, right in Hillsborough. You go down to the end of this road here that you came up on, William Campbell, till it dead ends and make a right, and there's a little store in there. I just happened down yesterday. They have all sorts of, she has lectures and everything, and she's got the most neat things for the metaphysical. Big, beautiful, beautiful sign, which had this on it, it's above, so below, that's within, so that. And a lot of astrological and metaphysical and, you know, positive things. And I went and gave her my book, and she gave me her book. She's got her meditation book. But it's really, I mean, some very nice high-end